What if you could approach technical issues the same way seasoned support professionals do? In this episode, we turn the tables and interview Esri Canada Customer Support staff to uncover how they diagnose problems, spot patterns, and resolve issues efficiently, often under pressure. From first questions asked to common red flags, our guests share practical, behind the scenes insight into what really helps and what hurts during a support interaction. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Geographical Thinking. I'm Michelle Brake, and I'll be your guide as we explore ideas, stories, and conversations through the lens of geography. Thank you for joining me today, Sara and Lorraine, and welcome to Geographical Thinking. Okay, Lorraine, so I know that you're based in the Ottawa, kind of Gatineau area, and how are things? How's spring? Are we fully into spring yet? Are the flowers out?
No, there are no flowers. It's cold and rainy. I think it's 5 degrees outside.
Ugh, okay. I know, not too far away, but Sara, you're based in Montreal. We got any flowers there? Is it spring?
Oh my God. I wish I can tell you it was beautiful today, but it's actually super rainy. But it's been really nice. And I'm really excited for spring.
Okay, so hopefully it's right around the corner. But to get us started on our topic at hand today, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role on the Esri Canada Customer Support team?
Yeah, so customer support is divided into many different teams by product. So I work on our ArcGIS Pro and imagery team, which means that I support ArcGIS Pro, all of its extensions, and our imagery products, such as ArcGIS Reality. That includes drone to map and site scan, for example.
Okay, and Laurent, what is your title in the team?
My title is Senior ArcGIS Pro and Imagery Consultant.
Okay, and then over to Sara. What's your role within the customer support team?
So I'm a support consultant in the ArcGIS Online apps and ArcMap team, which is exactly what it's advertising.
Okay, and what kind of things are you dealing with? I know with Laurent, it's ArcGIS Pro, imagery. That leads me to think a very specific area, but ArcGIS Online is a lot of stuff. Any areas of focus?
So it's ArcGIS Online and all of its apps. So field maps, Survey 123. We do a lot of licensing administrating within ArcGIS Online. And we do some ArcMap, but as you all know, she's gone. But we will help with some very basic stuff still.
Okay. Now, what kind of issues do you most commonly help customers troubleshoot? I guess, Sara, knowing that we're covering such a wide range of topics, what are you typically dealing with?
We receive so many cases regarding like credits and credit management and like what uses credits and what doesn't use credits. We have a lot of documentation, so it could get confusing. So we help a lot managing that and understanding that realm of things. But we also get a lot of field maps offline issues, Survey 123, formatting, and just a lot of general performance issues with ArcGIS Online.
Okay, so again, wide range of topics. Laurent, on your side, knowing we're ArcGIS Pro and imagery, what are you typically dealing with?
Yeah, licensing comes up often. We get it. Clients don't license often, and so it's more likely that they're going to be unfamiliar with the process. Not to mention that we're well aware that Esri licensing can be tricky. That's what we're here for. Other than that, performance issues in ArcGIS Pro are a fairly common questions, or clients running into bugs or reporting bugs to us. On the imagery side of things, we get a lot of questions about general imagery, like processes and workflows, like how to use, because they tend to be complex tools. So we get those questions as well.
Mm-hmm. I totally get it on the licensing front. As much as I deal with it from the user side, there's always things that come up of, ooh, is that an extension? Is that something extra I need to add? I think the whole user type change that we've recently gone through does help with a lot of that. Hopefully that's simplified some of the cases coming in, but I know there's a bit of everything with licensing.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, especially with well, just the change. And so I think clients are getting used to named users now, but they have to go through it. So
Okay, now going from kind of our licensing side and all of our troubleshooting, I'm wondering when a support case comes in, what's the first thing you guys are trying to understand? Lorraine, what's standing out as the most important thing for you?
The most important thing for me is to make sure that I properly understand the question or the issue with all of the relevant information. So, clients can sometimes feel like we're moving slowly or like backwards in these initial communications, but it's really important that we have all the information and that we understand the big picture in order for us to best assist. So, some details which end up being crucial are might be believed to be unimportant by the client at the time of logging the case. So we usually start by asking a lot of questions.
And that makes sense. More questions, hopefully more clarity. Sarah, on your side, what are we looking at as being the first thing we want to understand?
I like zooming way back. So a client will tell me their issue, and I'm like, I got that in mind. I just want to know your setup as well. So I understand the issue. I just want to confirm, are you using ArcGIS Online or Enterprise? What version? Do you have any like databases, any third party tools? I just want to know that big picture before I dive in.
Yeah, especially the online versus enterprise is going to bring in a lot of potential area of things to dive into. So that makes sense. When you're going into this troubleshooting phase, is there any place for early clues that help point you to a root cause or a problem? Sarah, on your side, I'm wondering, how does that look?
Error messages are definitely extremely important in understanding what may be happening. And Lorraine, being an ArcGIS Pro professional, can go more into that. But other clues that we use is obviously the version of the product you're using. If there has been any update, that's massive. So, have there been an ArcGIS Online update? Did you update your computer? Did you update the data? Did you update anything recently? Is the issue reproducible with new data? Is the issue like how big is the data?
Yeah, no, and that makes sense where we're looking at data and like, what have I done with my data? Did I do something that maybe is inadvertently causing what I think of as an issue of am I looking left when it's actually over here on the right? That makes sense. But Lorraine, where we're focusing in on something like ArcGIS Pro, we're looking at desktop. I'm assuming it's a whole other world of things that maybe are clues to point you in the direction of a problem.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than ArcGIS Online. Um, some issues, let's say a bug, can have very explicit behaviors. When we see it, we immediately know what it is. Maybe we've seen other cases, where this bug has come up, so we know that it's happening right now. Um, Error messages can sometimes be explicit in describing the cause of the issue, but not always. I'm sure that anyone who's used Pro has run into the dreaded error 999999. Other than that, I think that if you've been doing this job long enough, you develop a sort of intuition, but sometimes we just don't know. And, we have to figure it out.
Yeah. The 999 errors are the ones that always stump me, but I know we're getting less and less of those as we continue with product updates. So there's always more to be explored. And what information is going to help us resolve an issue the fastest when someone contacts support? Sarah, I suspect this is probably going to be your area of focus where we got a wider range of things anyway to deal with.
Exactly. So, as I've mentioned a few times, like just tell us the basics. That's always a winner. Like, what product are you using? What version? Are you seeing an error code? Did you change anything with the setup in the past few weeks? Is there something you were able to do before and now you're no longer able to do? Anything like that, it works.
Mm-hmm. I think it's narrowing in on that. Hey, did something work that now doesn't work, or something doesn't work that now works? Understanding that difference of behavior,
Yeah,
I think would also help me as an end user figure out, okay, what's going on here?
absolutely.
Yeah. But with these two different areas, what basic troubleshooting steps do you recommend that users try before opening a support ticket? Lona, what do you recommend first?
So for Pro, I would recommend to try troubleshooting to narrow down the potential cause of the issue. So, is the behavior occurring only with a particular layer or only in a particular pro project? Can you reproduce with different data or can you reproduce in a new project? Are your colleagues experiencing the same issue? So, if you can test these various different scenarios, let us know what you tested and what the outcome was, then that's really helpful to narrow down where the issue might be coming from. And that can usually help quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And that understanding, is it a localized problem like to your network, to your office? Is it an everybody working from home and having issues? A lot of different factors to play in there to really sort through. Now, Sarah, going to your side, what kind of troubleshooting steps are you going to recommend that people try before opening a support ticket?
It's not really like a intuitive troubleshooting step, but I think doing a quick Google search of the issue can lead to some of our documentation or even our Esri community, where you'll find a post with maybe a similar issue, and you can find a solution right away, or at least find like something that will help you get a little bit further before contacting customer support.
I feel like Google skills and getting to the heart of your problems with a well-crafted search can never be stated enough that it's such a valuable tool in understanding some of the niche elements of an and statement, an or statement. When do I use quotes in my search? Okay, so some important stuff there with a Google search. Now, how can users clearly explain these complex GIS issues when they're not really sure what's wrong? Of great, I can maybe do a Google search, but I can't quite get everything I need from that. How am I supposed to explain it to somebody else? Sarah, what are you thinking here?
If things get too complicated over the phone, we usually encourage getting on a screen sharing session to get a visual of what's going on. But if you're sending us a ticket through our email system or my Esri, super helpful to just include a screenshot of what's happening. I've also had a client send me a whole flow chart of their project explaining how it works, what's going on, and that was maybe the most useful thing I've ever received.
Yeah, Lorraine, for your side, is it videos and screenshots that are helpful, or are there other things that we can be doing?
A lot of the same as Sarah said. At the very minimum, let us know what's happening versus what you believe the expected behavior should be. Now, if clients are having issues explaining the concepts, like Sarah said, a screenshot or even better, a screen recording can really help. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video has to be worth a lot more, right? If we're talking on a phone and it's getting too complex, we'll hop on a screen sharing session. This happens all the time. We use those tools really often.
Okay,
So
which
that's
makes sense to me. If somebody hits me up with a Teams message like, hey, something unexpected's going on, or like, I can't find something, my first instinct is, can we jump on a call and you can show me that? Because it'll be faster than talking about it.
yeah, it's a
So it
lot
all makes
quicker.
sense to me. Yeah. Now, are there any tools or settings or even logs that can help users that maybe get often looked that are incredibly helpful? Sarah, for your side, I know, again, wide range from mobile devices to online of desktops. What's going to be helpful here?
Yes, I love this question. For ArcGIS Online and all of our related apps, we actually have quite a few things you can try and use. So the most important is the HAR file. So that's HAR. It means HTTP archive file. It's one of the ways we can capture the network activity happening while you're using our web products. So anything on ArcGIS Online, anything on the web. Basically, you have to open your dev tools in your internet browser, recreate the issue, and then export that file to us, and we can see like what information might be lost on you when just looking at our website. So maybe the general error you're seeing is a little bit more detailed on the back end, and that's super helpful to us. Other things are both of our ArcGIS field maps and Survey 123 have log files that you can look through. They sometimes pick up on errors that can be very useful for us to understand what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously for ArcMap, our beautiful ArcMap, even though it's retired, I know some of our clients are still using the software. I recommend checking out the dump files if your software suddenly closes on you. I use debug diagnostic to read those dump files, and most error messages are explained on our online documentation.
Okay, so lots of ways that we can start helping with that process even before picking up the phone. Great to know. Lodan, do we have any of those, I guess, cheats or hacks going on the ArcGIS Pro side?
For Pro, similar to ArcMap, there's also the dump files, the process monitor logs. I want to talk about a tool that I think that not a lot of our clients know about. And this is the ArcGIS Pro Performance Assessment Tool. So the PAT, we call it. The PAT assesses your computer's ability to run ArcGIS Pro workflows, like specific key ArcGIS Pro workflows. You can use it to investigate a perceived performance issue. And like I said, I don't think a lot of clients know about this tool. So we'll often get clients saying that their pro, is slow. Specific processes are slow. Expected speed is going to be dependent on what process that you're running, how large your data is, not to mention your computer specs. And we can't easily answer the question that our clients will often come to us saying, like, I'm running this tool and my data is this size and it's taking like this amount of time. Is this normal? Is it slow? I think it's slow. Like sometimes it's difficult for us to actually establish if it is actually slow or not. So the PAT tool will compare the machine performance against known benchmarks for those specific processes. And so you can clearly assess and compare performance.
Okay, also very helpful. I think these are both things that I'm going to have to take away in my own troubleshooting. So thank you just from me alone. And now on the other side of this, so that's how we can troubleshoot it. But I know we continue to see the rapid rise of AI and from chatbots and assistants. I'm wondering, what role is that playing in support? When is it helpful and when should we maybe exercise a little bit of caution here? Sara, what are you thinking? Because I know most of our AI assistants and things are in the online realm.
Yeah, and the chatbot is super effective in answering simple questions and questions that are heavily documented. Things like, how do credits work? How can I build this simple arcade script? How can I export these features from ArcGIS Online? And this year we've noticed that we get a lot less of those kinds of questions and a lot more cases with more complex issues. So the AI can't help with everything. And I do suggest that clients always exercise caution when using LLMs and other AI kind of tools. Look for secondary sources or try the generated workflow on a duplicate of your data to make sure everything is working as expected.
Yeah, I think I've run into a few of these of, oh, great, my Google search is returning. Like, yeah, totally. Go and unfederate your ArcGIS Enterprise. I'm like, no, do not do this. Please don't. Or you get responses from old versions that maybe are no longer applicable. So I agree that caution definitely needs to come into play. Okay, now away from AI, I'm back onto maybe what an ideal support case is going to look for you. If you could paint the perfect picture of what a support case is going to look like, what's the ideal process? Lona, what does that perfect support case look like?
I think that perfect support case would have a clear description of the behavior that is occurring, when it started, what action seems to have prompted the behavior, if there's any that you know of, screenshots of any error messages. This is key because the exact wording of an error message can be really important for us. So we love having the screenshot, or if you actually type it out rather than paraphrasing. Um, if relevant, screenshots of the pro interface showing the issue, or like we said earlier, a screen recording if you know it's an active behavior that you're trying to demonstrate.
Okay, makes sense. Screenshots, video, whatever we can get will help. Sara, your side. Again, more things. What are we looking at? What's going to be ideal here?
I know I've mentioned it a few times already, but if a client can provide us a list of the tools they're working with, we're winning. Are we working with ArcGIS Online or Enterprise or Portal? Are there database connections? Clients sometimes forget about those. Like, where are those databases? What version are you using? Let us know, like, which apps are you using? What versions are they at? So just things like that. Super helpful.
I think an important thing to note there when you bring up database connections, because if you're working in ArcGIS Enterprise and you're just going through Portal looks like ArcGIS Online. You're probably not going to know if something is coming from a registered data source in a database. Where does it go behind the scenes? Because you're simply looking at the web tier service endpoint. We're not actually getting into what's going on behind the scenes. So I feel like that's one of those, hey, teamwork behind the scenes at the submission side might be required too. Okay. So thinking collaboration from users that they might need to reach out to their own teams to work together before they're submitting something to get that full picture. How can users best collaborate with support to reach a faster solution? Because I see any support case as a collaboration of, hey, I need your help. Also, you need my help understanding what am I actually asking here. Laura, how does that collaboration look like on your side?
Well, if you want to collaborate with us, which will help us reach a solution faster, we want clear, thorough, timely communication. If you give us all of the information that we need, and if you get it to us quickly, this will reduce back and forth interactions and just generally help solve cases faster.
Perfect. Sara, anything to add there?
It's also okay to admit if you need extra help. So sometimes if you receive like a super big email from a support analyst, it's overwhelming to receive something like that. And like there's documentation and there's links and there's steps and then you don't know where you're at anymore. Just let us know. Let us know right away. As soon as you let us know, like, this is so much, please help me. We're just going to get on a screen sharing session with you and we're going to go through everything together. Like, don't be scared. We got you.
Okay, good to know. We're in it together. Now, what's one troubleshooting habit that you think every GIS professional should develop to maybe help us along? Laurent, what's that one troubleshooting habit that everyone should be picking up?
I think being comfortable trying to dig for the cause of the issue. So, does it seem to be data related or project related or machine related or profile related or environment related? Where's it coming from? And this relates back to my point earlier about some of the basic troubleshooting steps that clients can do before reaching out to us.
Okay. Sara, anything to add to that?
I absolutely agree with Lorraine.
No, and I think that's a perfect answer that we've got from Laurent, that we don't need to go beyond, because once we're getting those answers of, is it data, is it project, is it machine, there's so many elements. So I think that being comfortable digging is really solid there. Now, what's adding into that, an Esri resource, whether it's documentation or a tool or a community that you wish more users knew about? Sara, what's kind of your go-to resource?
Our Esri community is an incredibly valuable resource that many people just overlook. You can post questions about your issues. You can connect with other creators who use similar setups as you. You can share ideas to help improve our products. And we do look at those posts. And you can even browse our blogs. For example, my favorite series is from Ismail Chivite, who does a Survey 123 Tricks of the Trade blog. And it's so awesome. It's like a gold mine of tips. I highly recommend it.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Ishmael as well. Great resources. Laurent, what's your go-to resource?
I personally love the tutorial series on the learn.arcgis.com site. This is not only for pro. And so they have tutorials, articles, and videos for all of the products. And this is separate from the Esri documentation or the Esri Academy. The tutorials on learn.arcgis are usually quite lengthy, detailed. They cover a wide range of functionality. Personally, I like to look to this site first when I'm searching for tutorials.
Okay. And what do you wish users understood better about the work that support services team does? Laurent, what do you wish they knew?
That we sort of try to walk the space in between training and professional services. So we're not here to train you. That's the job of our training team. And we're not here to do it for you. That's the job of our professional services team, if you wish to use their services. But we're here to walk alongside you, help you, you and us as a team together.
Okay. And Sara, what's one thing you wish people knew better or understood better about support?
Sometimes troubleshooting is going to take a bit of time. We may need to research the issue a little further. We need to test it in our own environment. We need to recreate your environment to make sure that we can also recreate it there. Depending on the setup, the process can be super quick or way more involved. And what's important is that you know that we're fully committed to helping you. We didn't forget. We're here for you. We have an entire team here working to find the best and most accurate solution for you.
Perfect. Great advice kind of on how we should be framing our mind when we're coming into this situation. And finally, to bring us to a close, if a listener is struggling with an issue right now, what is your best advice that you can give before they submit a case? Sara, what's your advice here?
I suggest looking for online resources, whether it's through our official Esri documentation or our GeoSnaps or even the community posts. If nothing seems to address your issue, try some of the troubleshooting steps we've mentioned earlier.
Fantastic. And Laura, what's your last piece of advice for our listeners?
Everything that Sara said is great. That is exactly what I would recommend as well. If nothing seems to resolve the issue after you've done your research, after you tried, all of the troubleshooting that we mentioned, the different tools that we mentioned that you can use, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help.
Perfect. And thank you both so much for being here and sharing your advice of how can we dive deeper and maybe help ourselves by helping you with your job and working on this together. Because I know for me, when I'm reaching out to support, I want to have an understanding of what's going on so that one, maybe I can look for it in the future, address it myself, and two, maybe if it's something I'm doing wrong, I can stop doing it. Maybe it's a bad habit I need to get out of. But again, a huge thank you to Sara and Lorraine for sharing your perspectives, real world experience, and some of those behind the scene perspectives on troubleshooting. By thinking a little bit more like the support pros, we can resolve our issues faster, reduce frustrations, and get more out of the tools that we rely on every day. Whether you're tackling your first GIS challenge or deep into a complex workflow, we hope this episode gives you a few practical tips to try and greater appreciation for the people who keep everything running smoothly. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep thinking geographically.